I put my dad in the street against a heavyweight.
I've gone back to the dad. I've punched him a few more times.
There's 5 blokes outside my front door. Can you come and help
One
me?
hell of a fucking story, so stay tuned.
This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. It's been a while since I caught up with you, Kaash. I think we spoke during lockdown, actually, is when we had our first sort of chat on IFL. But I know you've been through a lot, so we'll start there. I saw, unfortunately, a while ago that you were victim to knife crime and that you had to go through intensive care and surgery. But on the positive, you're boxing this Saturday, which we'll touch on in a second. But just talk to me about that situation where you got stabbed, unfortunately, and went through something quite horrific. Just talk to me about that, please, Kaash.
June of last year, it was the Euros. England were playing. It was a Friday night, and me and the team, Scott Owen, had confirmed a big deal because we were mandatory for the English title. So we'd been in the gym, we were training. And I went to collect my sister. My sister was out in town that night. As I turned up, I was unfortunately approached by a group of youths. And a lot was mentioned about my boxing and things like that. And in the end of it, it resulted in me being stabbed in my chest, which had damaged my pec, tore me lung about 2.5 inches. I had to have 38 staples put in my lung. And yeah, so it's been a bit of a dramatic and entertaining last year.
Well, I'm glad you're saying it's entertaining because it definitely doesn't sound it. So that situation, are you telling me that was just random? Did they know who you were?
Yeah, it was completely random. I can't go into much details. We're still dealing with the case, but yeah, it was completely random. A lot was mentioned about me being a boxer and that I was the man round Stoke-on-Trent. And unfortunately, it resulted in me being attacked and stabbed. And yeah, I remember thinking straight away if I was even going to make it. You know what I mean? At the time, I couldn't breathe from the minute go. I couldn't get my breath, nothing. And I didn't realise my lung had been torn until we had got to the hospital. So obviously the paramedics and that turned up and did what they had to do, kept me stable until I got to the hospital. And then, yeah, we've had to rebuild from there as such.
Yeah, I was going to mention, I'm sure boxing wasn't at the forefront of your mind at that point. It was whether you're just going to carry on living. I'm guessing that was going through your mind. And how long were you in hospital for, Kaash?
I was in hospital for about a week and a half. Coming up to 2 weeks. When the surgeon come to see me in my bed after surgery, he said, it's going to be a long process. It's going to take a long time to recover. And I remember just asking him, I says, when can I box? And he laughed at me, the surgeon, that he said, box. And I said, I'm a professional boxer. When can I box again? And he looked at me and he went, if you ever box again, it's going to be 2 to 3 years until you're even fit to back in the gym sparring and pass a medical. And I remember just saying to him, I was like, we'll see about that. And he was like, no, you need to take it serious. Your recovery comes first. And I think at that moment, I started to believe that, there's a chance I could never box again. But with a clear mind, you could do anything. And I've bounced straight back.
Well, that's great to hear. So when did you pass your medical? When did you get back in the gym, sparring, etc.?
I actually passed my medical about 4 months ago. It was just 9 months after. I passed the medical. Obviously, we had a few complications, obviously, because I'd been through surgery and stuff. The board wanted to check everything was all right, which was understandable. They're just doing what they're supposed to do. And I was back in the gym 13 weeks after it in the pads with Scott Orton. I was determined as ever. I wasn't fit. I couldn't even walk when I got out of hospital. I couldn't walk up the street without being out of breath. Never mind run. And running's a big part of your training. And then 13 weeks later, I was back in the gym, punching the bags, punching the pads, and we just built up from there. And yeah, done everything by the book, and now Mia sitting in front of you, ready to box on Saturday.
How would you say this has affected you as a person? Obviously, it's as I said, a horrific process to go through. How's this affected you as a person?
Do you know what? It's changed me. It's changed me for many good reasons, but obviously it's took a bad effect on me on myself. But you know, these things are there to test us, and unfortunately, I don't believe anyone should go through knife crime, or be stabbed, or any horrific injury should happen to anyone. But this has honestly made me as a man. And do you know what? If I can get through this and return after 14 months, I can do absolutely anything.
Before we quickly touch on your fight this Saturday night, just a message about knife crime. We know it's a serious issue, especially in the UK at the moment. We're seeing it on the news, unfortunately, every week actually. What would your message to anyone thinking about carrying a knife, who carries knives, be as a victim of knife crime?
I believe everyone's got different views, and I understand that totally. But if I had to say anything to anyone, is, you know, knives will change people's lives, still change your own life. Before you even think about picking up a knife, think about what you're about to do to someone. I mean, I was nearly murdered through what went on with me. And I'm someone who's got ambitions. You know, I believe I'm a very talented lad. And just think before you pick that knife up, because this has absolutely changed my life completely. And you know what? On Saturday night, I get my life back because my boxing's back. I've set up a campaign called Evade the Blade. We're going on tour with Staffordshire Police next year. And my aim is to get into schools and tackle the younger generation. Everyone's got different views and beliefs, and I understand that totally, you know. But my personal opinion is that we should be targeting the young, up and coming children of today who are not damaged by society yet. They haven't had a chance to get out into the world. We should be drilling it into them that it's not acceptable to pick knives up. And hopefully, my hope is over the generations, it will start to fizzle out. Because when I was a young lad, I'm only 23 myself, but when I was a kid, we didn't ever think about knife crimes or using baseball bats, or it wasn't like that when I was a kid. You shouldn't be fighting full stop. But what I'm saying is we need to try and fizzle this generation out. I do believe the generation itself is very damaged. Whatever reason you want to put to that is down. That's your own opinion. But my opinion on it is we should be focusing on the younger generation now. I believe we should focus on everyone, but I believe the main root to the problem now, the main solution, sorry, of this problem would be to tackle these youngers that are coming into your late primary schools, your start of high school. Just think about the consequences of your actions. You waste your own life and you're taking other people's lives. And they've took a massive part of my life. On Saturday night, I get it back, mate.
Well, listen, well done for setting up that campaign. Hope it all goes well. Yeah, just to close off, must be a massive relief. I don't know what you're feeling really to be boxing this Saturday night. Just talk to me about your fight and what it's going to mean to you to get in that ring.
Yeah, I mean, Saturday night. Do you know what, mate? I'm absolutely buzzing. I feel like everything's gone pretty well for me. I mean, you know how it is in boxing, your weight making, getting yourself to peak physical condition. I'm on weight. I'm feeling brilliant. I feel fit. I think it'd be a shock to anyone how fit I am, considering I was stabbed and had surgery 14 months ago. But it's going to be an emotional night for my family, my supporters. You know, we've done a lot of tickets. And to be returning in my own city, I think it's a bonus. You know, I did get offered an opportunity a couple of months ago to box, but it would have been out of the city, and it was a step too far too soon. And me and my coaches and manager sat down and had a chat, and I just believed I needed get back in the ring, blow off the cobwebs, and enjoy my return, and you know, do my family and my fans proud. And hopefully, fingers crossed, everything comes off on Saturday, and we box well. I'll move on to bigger and better things. You know, I was chasing area titles for this first one. You know, so next year, in the back end this year, I want area English, British titles. And I really, truly believe I've already come through the worst in my life. Now the only way is up.
Definitely sounds that way. And yeah, once again, well done for getting through that situation. Incredible. I'm sure you inspire whoever's watching this. And yeah, go well on Saturday night. I'm sure you did a business, and no doubt we'll speak again soon. All right. Thank you very much for your time.
I appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
No problem, Kaash. All the best, mate.
Yeah, I put my dad in the street against a heavyweight.
I've gone back to the dad. I've punched him a few more
There's 5
times.
blokes outside my front door. Can you come and help
One
me?
hell of a fucking story, so stay tuned.